So you want to really market Trevorium. You want people to understand how valuable the product that you have is, but you're not exactly sure how to go about doing that. What I found from my personal experience and from my personal opinion, the thing that really people need to understand is the difference in what they're paying on travel sites versus what they'll pay in a membership. And they need to actually understand why that is. And that is called rate parity. So we're going to understand that today. We're going to go over that today. So hopefully you guys have a good understanding after we get done with this. So, exposed how rate parity is destroying your travel budget in 2025. So, if you guys don't know, rate parity is an agreement that forces hotels to show the same prices across all public booking channels, potentially costing you hundreds of dollars per stay. Learn how to legally access lower rates through private channels and save on your trip. All right, so that's what we're going to learn today. If you're in Trevorium right now, hopefully you understand this. If you're researching Trevorium, this is something that is really, really big in regards to what we are doing. So hopefully we understand this. All right, so what is rate parity? Rate parity is a contractual agreement between hotels and booking sites that requires the same public rates across all channels. So this contractual agreement, that means when you go to hotels.com, when you go to booking.com, when you go to expedia.com, they are legally bound to keep these prices within the same rates as all these other websites. Now, that being said, if you don't know this already, booking.com and um, Expedia, they actually both own pretty much, believe it's like 80 to 90% of all the booking websites online. So they pretty much have them all in their back pocket anyways. They're pretty much competing against themselves for the most part, but that requires them to keep everything within the same range. Now you might find something $7 here, $20 there, but that's nothing earth shattering. And sometimes that can just be, value you've built up, depending on how they deal with things on their website. So identical pricing. So on hotel websites, OTAs, meta search engines, and public booking platforms. Okay, so you're going to find those identical prices. It prevents price wars. So it's designed to protect OTA commissions and ensure fair competition. OCA just simply means online travel agents. That's Expedia and those other companies like that. So pretty much what's happening is because Expedia and Orbitz and Travelocity and Booking.com, they're spending all this money on these commercials. They want to actually recoup what they're actually investing and then also make some more. So also it has we have exclusive it excludes private rates. I'm sorry. So it does not apply to membership rates, wholesale prices, and or package deals. So that's the good thing about having a travel club because you can actually cut out that part of how people do business booking travel online when you have a travel club that you can book through yourself. Okay, so the truth about hotel rates, public rates, private rates, and dynamic pricing. These are the three different things. So public rates, that's basically what we all see. It's a sticker price like it is on the car. Okay. So when you see that sticker price, that is what it is. That's the public rate. Then we have the private rates. So the private rates, those are significantly lower because what's that doing? And I'll explain this a little bit further. It's cutting out that pretty much that commission that Expedia requires. So you're cutting that out. So you're getting the price for what the hotel room actually costs. That also allows the hotel themselves to also profit and make some money. And then also there's dynamic pricing. Dynamic pricing essentially means that when you have a sporting event, maybe like in Indianapolis, we had the Indy 500, maybe hotel rates go up, or, maybe in Las Vegas, if there's some big, maybe the Super Bowl's in Las Vegas, now hotel prices go up and et cetera, different things like that. Those prices can tend to basically drive the pricing on room rates. They can drive the pricing up on room rates. That doesn't necessarily always apply when you have a private channel booking site, a private channel booking site, which would be a travel club. Okay. It doesn't always change. It might change some, but it doesn't always change like you think it might, because sometimes people just inflate the prices for the sake of inflating the prices so they know they can, because they know they can do it. Okay. So how rate parity actually works. So let's start at number one. So the hotel sets the base rate, what they need. Then the online travel agents, which is Expedia, hotels.com, booking.com, Orbit, Solving People, they add their commission, what they want to get out of it. Okay. And it's really sneaky about what they're doing. It's kind of bad. But I can't blame them. You can't hate, but they say, don't hate the player, hate the game. Yeah, don't hate the player, hate the game. Rate parity enforced. Okay, once the commissions are added, and then after the rate parity is enforced, now the consumer pays more. Okay, which obviously we don't want to be the consumer paying more. Nobody wants to pay more. I don't know anybody who wants to pay more. Okay, so for example, right here. So the real cost of travelers. So we have the public rate, for example. Let's say the public rate is 249 a night. The online travel agent's commission is 25%. That potential savings right there is $70 through private channels. Okay. That being said, what's interesting about that 25% is on booking hotels as a travel agent, generally they will only award the travel agent about maybe 9 to 10, maybe sometimes 15% on hotels, depending on what you're doing, which means even as a travel agent, you're still pretty much paying what's the word I'm looking for? Not tribute tributary. Essentially, you're still paying tributes to the website because, like, what if you're an online travel agent and you book through Expedia because you can do that for people? You're still paying your tributary fees to Expedia, so Expedia is not getting the full 15 or 25%. Maybe you're only getting 10%, or maybe they're getting 15%. Usually, in more cases, they're still getting the bigger chunk of that. Okay. Okay, so the modern distribution landscape. So we have the online travel agencies, which we talked about: Expedia, Booking.com, Hotels.com. And then we have the meta search engines like Google Hotels and Kayak. Those are the ones that, they kind of scan a bunch of the different online travel agencies to see what their prices are and then see what the best price of those may be. And like I said, when you see that, it's normally like no more than $20. It's like between $5 and $15 usually. Then we have the global distribution systems that travel agents use, um, pretty much back end tools and things like that. And then we have the wholesale partners, private channels, and discounted rates, which are the travel clubs. And then we have direct booking channels directly through the hotel's website. So if you go to Hyatt.com, for instance, and you can book your Hyatt hotel. So that's the difference right there. Okay. Hopefully this is making sense to you guys. So that being said, so breaking through the rate parity barrier. So if you haven't figured this out by now, the way to break through the rate parity barrier is to join a travel club. You can access wholesale rates 15 to 50% lower than public prices. And to be quite honest, guys, you can I don't like to say this because it just sounds so too good to be true, but if you guys haven't seen my other presentation to where I've shown rates, 76, 80% lower, 82% lower, you need to see that presentation. But just to keep it conservative on the conservative side, you can generally always find 15 to 50%, okay, lower, okay. And then you can look for package deals. Package deals can be good because you can find flights, hotels, car rentals, and then also if you're concerned with uh, taking a vacation, like in a theme park area, like Disney or something like that, or just somebody who has an amusement park nearby. Sometimes those cities will combine the packages with hotel rooms and also the theme park tickets. You can use opaque booking sites. So you book discounted rooms without seeing the hotel name up front. Okay. Sometimes on those other websites, they'll allow you to do that on certain things. Pretty much and I've done it before. It's really taking a gamble. It's really taking a we did that one time about maybe 11 years ago in Cleveland, and I was like, "Ooh, look at this rate. It's a good rate." And then you go to a hotel when the mattress in the middle is dented in and Everybody's rolling towards the middle. My wife was not happy about that. I'll just say that. Hey, but I got that rate for like 60 some dollars. um, and then also there's ones like uh not hotels.com. I can't think of it what it is, but pretty much I've done that one before in the past to where it's opaque and then you press the button and you get to see it for like 10 10 minutes or something like that. They give you 10 minutes to book it before the price goes away. Um, and it's still honestly, those prices still aren't as good as the travel club rates. And then honestly, with those, it's like they give you one shot for this one room, and it's this one part of the city which you may not want to drive to. So that's kind of how you can do it. It's really a gamble. It's nothing you can actually plan around. It's usually last minute stuff. And then there's negotiated corporate rates for business travelers, arrange special rates with hotels. Um, those are good as well. Okay. All right, so the future of hotel booking. So this is the current state where rate parity dominates the public pricing because the thing about it, guys, is Expedia, Orbitz, Travelocity, Booking.com, Hotels.com, which is essentially just, Expedia Group and Booking.com. They understand psychology. They're not going to spend all these billions of dollars per year on advertising if they don't expect to, get back what they want to get back. Um, there's going to be growing scrutiny in other countries that is going to ban mandatory rate parity, which would not be good for them. But in the good old United States, I don't think that's happening anytime soon. As you know, United States isn't really about serving the people. They're really not, especially with the food and everything that they give us. And there's going to be evolving distribution, more private channels emerging, more travel clubs becoming more popular. Obviously, with those, it requires you to do your own advertising if you're the travel club owner. And then consumer awareness. Travelers are seeking alternative booking methods because honestly, life these days isn't getting any easier. The only way to really fight against this is to not actually participate in those online booking agents, those online travel agents. Just don't participate at all. Don't give them your money because all that does is enable and encourage them to keep on doing the same thing. And that's all I can say. And then maybe at some point in time, if they realize, hey, we're not getting as much revenue, then they'll drop those prices a little bit, which is still going to get some people. But the people who understand that booking through a private channel is much better, they still won't. And eventually, I don't think it's ever going to happen because people are just too hard headed and they can't even save themselves. But if that were to happen, then it'd pretty much sink the ship of the Titanic being the Expedia Group and Booking.com. So, but that's pretty much it, guys. You need to understand those things. So take action, save on your next hotel stay. Stop relying on those public sites. They show inflated rates by design. Research travel clubs, look for transparent pricing. And I'll tell you this, guys. Travel clubs, there's a lot of them out there. The one that we use actually has essentially the services of, I believe, at least three travel clubs all in one. So you get all those services of three travel clubs all in one location. You're not going to find a better price, to be quite honest, guys. A lot of these travel clubs, to be quite honest, because they know they're kind of competing against timeshares, which timeshares, we went to a timeshare presentation where they wanted to charge us $50,000 for the timeshare, $50,000, and then $5,000 down that day, and then $500 a month, as well as um, uh, maintenance fees. So, and we were like, nah, we're not doing that. So I guarantee you it's not going to cost anywhere close to that if you get with the travel club. That being said, the travel clubs, because they know they're competing against that, they do actually have the prices marked up a little higher. So you might find a travel club for $8,000. You're not getting any maintenance fees. Um, or also a travel club. I went to one in Indianapolis. Actually, that was one that we're talking about $8,000. And then they might wiggle with it a little bit, wiggle it for you, maybe $5,000 and things like that to get you on financing, which is fine to be quite honest. Because if you do that, that's still better. Because just one of those, trips you take can actually save you a bunch of money. If you take just honestly, probably if you took four of those trips, Even if you paid $5,000 for one of those travel clubs, if you took 4 of those trips with the money you can save, it would literally pay for itself. Like there's a hotel over in Vegas I looked up, which if you haven't seen the presentation I recorded, it's called the Secret Suites of Videra. It's beautiful. It's like James Bond would stay here, okay? But if you went there, typically for like I think 4 nights, it's like $3,000. But I was able to find that same place for $779, so it saved over $2,000. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So if you save over $2,000 in Vegas on a place that's normally $3,000, you've already if you bought that travel club that was $5,000, you're already almost halfway there as far as savings and making up for the money that you actually spent on it. But that being said, ours costs nowhere close to that. Ours is essentially, if you don't know about how Terrarium works is essentially works as your membership fee is essentially you're putting your money that you were going to spend on vacation anyway. Okay. You're putting that into the membership fee. Okay. With that membership fee, you're getting points back. So for every dollar you put in, you get 2 points back. Okay. Now, those 2 points are also equivalent to $1 that you can spend on the future. And so you're essentially saving towards your vacation. At the same time, when you're allowed to do that, at the same time, you're gonna get a cheaper price. So if you didn't put it in, you'd be saving the money, yeah, but you're also not gonna get a cheaper rate. And there's also other ways of doing this too. Like I can't go into all of it right now. Just check the presentation. It makes sense to go ahead and do that if this is what you're into. If this is what you're looking for, a way to save money. There's so much I can't really explain because we're really just talking about rate parity, and I don't want to make this video any longer than it already is. So hopefully you guys have found this helpful, and you guys be blessed, and I'll catch you on the next one.